Today we'll see something about double entry system. However, this is related with journalizing. Although I am not starting the chapter journal right now, we'll do it in the next class. Here, just I want to show you something regarding the double entry system and analyzing the debit and credit aspects in every transaction. Now, whatever may be the transaction, there is always two aspects in the transaction. One is debit and one is credit. This thing we have also discussed in our previous video. Today I am showing you some examples with that, where we'll understand how for each transaction we'll get debit aspect and credit aspect, and I'll also provide you one question. In that you will do the same thing what I have done here and send me the solution in the WhatsApp personally. But now first of all, check this. Number one is started business with cash, rupees 60,000. Here in this transaction, what are the two aspects of debit and credit? Number one is cash. Cash has been invested in the business. Business has started with cash, so cash has been invested in the business. Cash is of real account. We have seen the types of account: personal, real and nominal. Cash is real account, and in real account what comes in the business is debit. So here in this case, cash has come in the business. Business has started with cash, so cash has been invested in the business. Cash has come in the business, so cash is debit. On the other hand, the owner have invested the money. So since the money has been received from someone, now he is the owner in that case. But the business, if you see the aspect of the business, as I have told you about double entry system and dual entity concept, that we have seen owner and business is different. Now if you see from the point of view of the business, we have received money from the owner and we have the liability to return that money on the shutdown of the business. When the business will be shut down, we need to return that money back to the owner. So this is a liability for the business. This liability is called capital. Whatever money is invested by the owner in the business is called capital. So capital will be credit. Here in the transaction itself, just underline the aspect that is debit and credit, and write there debit and capital is credit. The next transaction is purchase furniture for cash rupees 10,000. Here we are paying cash and purchasing furniture. So both are real, furniture and cash. The two aspects here are furniture and cash, and both the aspects are real. Furniture we are receiving, we are getting in the business, so it will be debit. And against furniture, for purchasing furniture we need to pay cash, so we'll spend cash for that. Cash is going out, so cash is credit. In this way you'll underline and just mark debit and credit. Next is purchase goods for cash, 25,000. We have purchased goods for cash rupees 25,000. Same thing here, we have got goods and in return of goods we need to pay cash. Cash we have spent, cash has gone out, so cash will be credit. And goods we have purchased, we have gotten goods, goods have come to us, so goods will be debit. But we don't write goods, we write purchase, not purchased. The transaction is purchased goods, but we will write purchase. So I have written here goods, I have just marked an arrow, we will write purchase. Although we have received goods, but we don't write purchase. Whenever we purchase goods, we write purchase, and purchase will be debit, we won't be writing goods. So purchase will be debit and cash will be credit. Next is bought goods from Ram. Here in the previous one, number 3, it was purchased goods for cash. We have purchased goods and we have spent cash. But in number 4, whenever name is given and cash is not mentioned there, it is a credit purchase. We have purchased goods on credit basis. We have not paid cash for that. So same thing, goods, but we will not write goods. Purchase will write. Purchase will be debit. We have received goods, goods have come to us, but we will be writing purchase debit. But we have not spent cash in this case. In this case, cash have not been paid. Cash has not gone out of the business, so we will not make cash credit. But who is the supplier of the goods to us? Ram have supplied the goods to us. Ram is the giver in that case. Ram will be credit. Ram is the personal account, and personal account will always be credit. On the other hand, if you see it in the nominal account way, then also Ram is our liability, we need to pay Ram. Ram is our creditor, so Ram will be credit anyway. But if you see with the personal aspect, Ram has supplied us the goods, Ram has given us the goods, so Ram will be credit. In the next case, paid cash to Kamlesh, rupees 15,000. So we have paid cash to Kamlesh rupees 15,000. So Kamlesh account will be debit because Kamlesh is the receiver here. Who has received the cash? Kamlesh. So Kamlesh will get the amount rupees 15,000. And what we have paid cash has gone out of the business, so cash will be credit. And the receiver Kamlesh is a personal account, and personal account we have seen debit the receivers, so here in this case receiver is Kamlesh, so Kamlesh will be debit and cash will be credit. In number 6, purchase goods from Sohan rupees 6,000. Same thing that we have seen earlier also. Purchase goods from Sohan. We have purchased goods, so we won't write goods, we'll write purchase in the debit side. And we have not paid cash here also. We have purchased goods from Sohan. So Sohan has supplied the goods, Sohan has provided the goods, so giver will always be credit, so Sohan is credit. In number 7, purchase goods from Sohan for cash. We have again purchased goods from Sohan, but this time for cash. So whenever cash is written, we won't see the name. Whenever cash is written, we will buy or we will sell goods for cash. At that time, we won't be seeing the name. We'll just see what is the transaction. It is purchased and it is made against cash. So that is more important for us, not the person from whom we are making the transaction. So purchase goods, purchase will be debit, and what we have spent against purchase, cash, we have paid cash for that. So cash will be credit. And at last we have rent paid for the office rupees 1,000. We have paid rent for the office of rupees 1,000. So paid means what we have paid? Cash. Cash has gone from us, so cash will be credited. And rent is an expense. If you see the nominal account, rent is an expense. Rent is an expense for us. Expenses are always debit, so rent will be debit and cash will be credit. I hope all the transactions are clear to you. I'll show you once again all the transactions at a time. Here you can see all the transactions at a time. Now I'll also provide you a few questions to solve. In the same manner, you will underline the transaction, you will underline the aspect debit and credit, you will mark it debit and credit and send it to me on WhatsApp personally. And if you have any queries regarding this or the next question that I will provide, please send it to me on WhatsApp, or you can call me directly on my contact number. Till then, thank you very much and bye.